If you're a fan of boxing in the heavyweight division, well, you got yourself a pair of heavyweights ready to throw down this Friday in Saudi Arabia for a special pay-per-view event. Former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou will face former world champion Anthony Joshua in Riyadh on March 8th. Let's break down this matchup with a contributing boxing writer and editor for DAZN News. My guy, Mark Lelinwalla, is here in studio. Mark, how you doing?
Good, Dexter. Thanks for having me on, man.
Look, I'm always glad we could talk boxing. We've been talking boxing for years. It's good when I get you in studio. So, Mark, I think that this fight, it's intriguing for many boxing fans because Ngannou, in his first trip into pro boxing, getting in the ring, he dropped Tyson Fury. Now, he lost the fight, folks, in a narrow split decision, and not many people gave him a chance in that fight. Should people give more respect to Ngannou and what he can do in this matchup against Joshua?
Absolutely. I think he's earned the respect from the fight you just alluded to, the Fury performance. Him dropping Tyson Fury, it opened a lot of eyes to this guy's boxing ability and, potential. And the respect is there. Now it's in his court. Let's see how far he could take that respect.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how far you can take it, because it's one thing when people are underestimating you in one fight. What was it about that fight in Fury? Was it the power that you saw with him in terms of him dropping Fury? What was it about that fight that made you say, okay, like we need to maybe put a little bit more respect on his name here?
Yeah, well, boxing's always been part of his mixed martial arts disciplines, but to see him in professional boxing and then to do it against a caliber opponent, Tyson Fury, was unexpected. That was, it might have been to the public eye and to fans, something that we didn't see coming. It was something unexpected, maybe what fans deemed as too soon. And the way he was able to do it with that power that we always knew he had, but he put that punch together, and it was shocking.
Yeah, it was one that definitely shocked me, and I think it's shocked a lot of fight fans as well, journalists, everybody covering the sport. I think it definitely shocked him. Now, for Joshua, he's won 3 fights in a row, right, Mark? And he once had the chance of fighting Deontay Wilder. I think a lot of us were disappointed that that wouldn't happen. That went away. This was his best opportunity to cash in on a big fight in terms of that with Wilder. Ngannou, he's the one who's basically fighting with house money here. But Joshua has different states. How badly does he need a good performance? And what does a strong performance for Joshua look like against Ngannou?
I think he really needs a strong performance. And I think there is a degree, Dexter, of one-upsmanship with this fight. He wants, no matter what anybody wants us to say, he wants to probably do better against Ngannou than Fury did. That means a unanimous decision that's lopsided or a stoppage. And I think he's driven to deliver either one, but in convincing fashion.
He's going to need to do that, to have that in convincing fashion. Because, right, like I said, there's a disappointment that he didn't get the fight with Wilder, but he also still wants a strong showing. We know that he wants a title shot. There's no doubt about that. AJ wants this, so we'll see. I want to go back to Ngannou here for a second, because if he's going to pull off the upset, and people are going to be rooting for this, do you see him as somebody looking at him as a fighter, not the most technical striker in MMA competition? Because of that, do you see him having the ability to get this victory over Joshua?
When you have power like that in this heavyweight division, you can win.
You got a chance.
If think about it. He dropped Tyson Fury. If he puts a similar punch together with Anthony Joshua, who's to say he can't drop Anthony Joshua, right? So with the power, you always stand a chance. And I'm looking for him to see if he makes adjustments on those technical aspects. He's gotten guidance from Mike Tyson, which could only help, right?
Yeah.
Big time. So I want to see him make some adjustments and show better boxing with that power that he's going to have.
Yeah, and you wonder if he can put it together in a fight like this against Joshua, because the power, it's so amazing. I want to kind of touch on more on that power, right? Because in the MMA world, we've heard people rave about Ngannou's strength, and we saw it on display, as we said, against Fury in his first professional fight. What does Joshua have to do in order to not fall victim to the strength of Ngannou and get the victory on Friday night?
Well, coming off the back-to-back Usyk losses, he's been very disciplined, measured, and just a very deliberate fighter. And that's how he's built this 3-fight winning streak. And I think he has to do the same thing against Ngannou. He has to keep Ngannou at bay with his power jab, and he has a great, great jab. So he has to do that. And then he has to look for opportunities to piece together combinations. I mentioned Ngannou's guard. If he could, you know, because Fury definitely put combinations and touched Ngannou up, and Anthony Joshua has a lane to do the same thing. So I'm looking for him to control and just dominate in that fashion, and pick his spots. Pick his spots when he sees an opening to put together a devastating combination.
I'm really intrigued about him picking his spots in this one, Mark, because you and I were talking about this before we started recording, and that's, okay, you pick your spots, you want to be very deliberate and sort of guarded about the way he's been going about things, but what if he feels that power of Ngannou? How does he respond? How do you think he will respond if he feels whatever it is? I don't mean necessarily that he gets dropped, folks, but if he gets hit with a shot that makes him say, ooh, okay, I feel something here. How do you think Joshua responds to that?
I think it really helps him accepting and understanding Ngannou's power going into it. If he feels that power, especially early, I look for him to make adjustments. You know, he made, crediting Anthony Joshua big time, he made excellent adjustments from the Andy Ruiz first fight to the rematch. He didn't cave into the temptation to trade power with him. He was a smarter fighter in that rematch. So if he feels that power early, I'm looking for him to make a quick adjustment. And maybe it's, you know, making Ngannou feel some power back. Maybe it's reverting to a more technically sound style that he does have. So an adjustment needed to be made quickly.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how he's able to make these adjustments. Okay, last thing here. You know what time it is, Mark. Prediction time. What is your prediction for this heavyweight bout? Who comes out on top on Friday night? Is it Ngannou or is it Joshua? Who you got?
I really think Anthony Joshua will win this fight. I see him doing it on points. I think if there's a lane to go for the stoppage, he goes for it, but he doesn't press it. He takes what comes to him. But I'm looking for him to deliver another measured boxing performance against a lights-out power puncher.
And you know, the thing is, Joshua's shown a lot of respect to Ngannou on his power. He's talked about it. He hasn't disrespected it. He's not treating this lightly as somebody who's been an MMA fighter and doesn't think he come here and win. So you've seen the respect from Joshua. I think it's a very, very interesting fight. You've got Joshua coming on top. We'll see how that goes down on Friday in Saudi Arabia. That is Mark Lelinwalla, boxing writer and editor for DAZN News. Check him out there. Mark, enjoy the fight. We got to talk some more boxing in studio again soon.
Definitely. Thanks very much for having me on.
Appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.